You've seen it, you've loved it, you saw it again. Kraven the Hunter has been out for a few days now. People are ranting and raving about Kraven. They want more, they're craving it, and I'm gonna give it to you. Perhaps you don't have the money to go see it for a fifth time, but you still want to hear someone break it down in its entirety, shot for shot, line by line, show by show. Well, maybe not that. But I am going to do my best to do a spoiler breakdown of what I retained from this cinematic tour de force known as Kraven the Hunter. Let's begin. Before I break down this Sony Spider-Man Cinematic Universe film that doesn't have Spider-Man in it, if you wouldn't mind doing me a solid and hitting that subscribe and the notification bell, short for notification bell, I would appreciate it. That way I'll show up more and we can have a fun time together. It'd be great. Let's begin. Now, in case you haven't seen the film, which is, I imagine I'm speaking to no one right now because everybody's loving Kraven, everybody's going to see it. Sony did release the first 8 minutes of pristine filmmaking. Maybe you're having some breakfast for the morning, you want to get a little Kraven in your body, get a little Kraven in your system. Bon appetit. But you're probably going to find yourself craving some more and you're going to go see the movie again. All right, let's get into it. We start this film in Russia with a convoy containing the man, the myth, the legend, Kraven himself. Although he's pretending to be someone else, a prisoner with a number identification. He's taken to the prison where he is going to assassinate a bad guy who's been selling guns and he's responsible for killing thousands of lives, innocent lives. And so our hero, who as we know from comics and video games and animated shows, our hero who is best friends with Spider-Man and he's an Avenger and all of that, he is going to stop this bad guy as the Hunter does. We all love Kraven. He's the good guy. He's always been the good guy. I really hope you recognize sarcasm when you hear it. I truly hope you understand that I'm being sarcastic. This guy is supposed to be a villain, but he's going to be treated as a hero for the majority of this film. All right, fast forward the prison break. We're outside in the cold where the guards told him he would never survive, and he comes in contact with a wolf. The wolf looks him dead in his fucking eye, and Kraven, not even missing a beat, looks right back at him. And then they go their separate ways. He kind of reminds me of Edward from Twilight. That's the vibe this whole film gives off, a Twilight stank to it all. I should point out that when he's in the prison, there's a tiny little action scene where he takes out a couple guards and he busts off the tooth of a saber-toothed tiger and he sticks it into the dude's neck. And he's like, "It's Kraven time, motherfucker." Blood sprays out. He leaves the compound. Parker Posey's on the rooftop. He's skidding and scatting around. Scanning, and what's funny about this is he's doing like a full bore sprint and he's flipping over things. And we immediately cut to a shot where he just kind of like is walking on the rooftop. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm running." And then he's sliding around on the ground. And this dude with a gun can't hit shit. He's like, Kraven's right there, and the guy's like, this guy won't sit still. "Hey, I brought that lunch you wanted." Curse you, Kraven! These are the best parts of the movie. Kraven gets onto the plane where he sees his partner in crime, mystery woman. We don't know who she is. He pops the tea, revealing all the abs that he worked so hard for this shitty movie to make. We're never gonna find out her name. We don't know who she is, and she's gonna pop in to just fly the plane every so often. She's like the Fortnite battle bus driver. Who is this person? And I think this is when he's like, "You wanna know how I got these abs?" Diddly 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 diddly. And we go back in time, 16 or however many years it is. And we see a younger Kraven, now going by his real name, Sergei. And no, I don't mean his name is gay and he's a sir or something like Lady Gay, Sergei. No, his name is Sergei. It's actually a common name, just to clarify that. Sergei's off at college with his brother, and Papa shows up. I believe the brother does call him Pa or Papa. Papa, Papa, what's wrong, Papa? And Sergei's like, what the hell are you doing here, Dad? You don't ever show up to these events unless something stupid is happening. And Nicola, played by Russell Crowe, says, get in the car, you idiots. Your mom's dead. But he has a Russian accent, so he's like, your mother is dead. Get in the car, stupid children. That's a really bad Russian. So it matched his perfectly. The boys seem a little distraught, I guess. They're all like, okay, mom's dead, I guess. And he says it in a really not sketchy way at all. Yes, she did it to herself. She was weak. She was a weak one, not like you, comrades. We kind of get a tease that there's maybe more to this story, and then there's no more to the story. As far as I know, he's just gone from the film altogether. He tells the little shits that the best way to cope is to shoot something. Blast the fuck out of a lion into smithereens. And that's gonna take him to the Rays down in Africa. The dad has informed the children that he wants to find the most badass lion to kill. The lion is a myth. It's like this amazing creature, and killing it obviously would make you a legend, which is what the father's really all about. He wants to be a legend. While this is going on, there's a tarot sesh taking place just yonder. Sesh, of course, short for session. We have Calypso introduced. I know she's Calypso because the lady, who I think is her grandma, I think she says it's her grandma, but nothing matters in this film. She calls her fucking Calypso 15 times in like 30 seconds. What do the cards say, Calypso? Calypso! What do the cards say, darling? And Calypso is sitting there like, bitch, I know my name. Like, are you mad at me? Because when my dad is in trouble with mom, she calls him his name. Hey, Adam, I told you to take out the garbage. And yet, here I am, and there's the garbage. I'm sorry, do you think I'm an idiot? You said you took out the garbage, yet there's garbage there, so... Adam, what's going on, Adam? Hey, I know my name. I know my name. What's it talking about? Oh, yeah, the movie. Calypso is good at reading the tarot cards, and she flips 3 over, which is like a lion and a dude. It looks like the lion's taking the guy from behind. So maybe that's going to happen at some point, which, cool. Let's see it. I can't wait. And then there's like a warning card and something. It doesn't matter. She'll never use the tarot stuff again. I don't know if she has a power or if this is an ability. Her name is Calypso, so obviously in the comics she's something, but to me, what the fuck is going on? Why are these women playing freaking tarot cards in the middle of nowhere? All right, back to the Helen Hunt. We're outside. Dad walks ahead. He's walking ahead talking to some soy boy who just desperately wants to appear alpha in front of the dude, but he clearly is having a hard time breathing. He's weak. He's not able to keep up. And this is going to be our Rhino. This is going to be Rhino in the later part of the film. So a little bit of a tease to what's to come. Few clicks backwards, the two brothers are hanging out talking, and Sergei is like, I don't understand, Dad. He's such a douchebag. Why are we out here? Is that a lion? Yep, that's a lion. And he pulls out his gun, but he hesitates, and the lion sees that in his eyes, and so he pounces. And keep in mind, this lion looks somehow less real than Mufasa from the animated Lion King. This thing is atrocious looking. All right, the Mufasa movie that's coming out in like a week has better lion effects than this thing. This thing, rah, comes on, he grabs the kid, and the kid's like, fuck! And rah, he's like ripping at him and scratching him up. And his brother Dimitri is like, no, brother, no, come back, Papa, they're taking brother. It drags our Sergei a few clicks. I'm gonna keep saying clicks like I know what that means. Further into the distance where the dad apparently can't find him, because we're talking about this isn't the Gladiator Russell Crowe, okay? This Russell Crowe is a few cheeseburgers removed from that guy. He's not gonna be running anywhere fast. He's like, fuck. We'll get him later. Sergei, just stay the course, bud. We'll get you later. Meanwhile, Calypso is road tripping it back home, and she just has the sudden urge to get out of the car. So she pops out. Keep in mind, this whole sequence done in front of green screen, it's not convincing me for a second. Everything looks fake as shit. She hops out of the Jeep, starts sauntering deeper into the jungle, where sure enough, she sees that little shit Sergei bleeding out on the ground. The lion looks at Calypso. Milady? Nah, Sylvania, and then it just leaves. Hemanama, hemanama, And Calypso pulls out a little vial. The circle of life. Put some drops in. Well, wait, what? We gotta back up. Beep, beep, beep. Why does she have this vial? Well, because this script is so tightly put together, so manicured to perfection. Not 5 minutes earlier, when I told you about the tarot reading, scratch that. 2 minutes earlier, when the tarot reading session happened, the grandma out of nowhere pulls this thing out of her ass and goes, "Oh yes, Calypso. Calypso, my sweet, precious Calypso. You need to take this, and at some point in time, you don't know when, you don't know why, you don't know how, you will need to use this on a person. It is very potent stuff. It is rich in nutrients. It's got some creatine in here. It's gonna make whoever drinks it swell as the gods. Get this to the right white man as soon as possible. Calypso, take it, Calypso, and go, be gone, Calypso." And then 4 minutes later, Calypso's like, "Oh fuck, am I supposed to use this already? I just got it. I thought this was gonna be something maybe 15 years down the road. I would have this amazing aha moment, but no, I guess, yeah, okay, now I guess we'll use it." And so she uses it. We get this little PowerPoint presentation flashing through the eyes of the lion, and we see the infusion of his DNA turning into Hunter DNA, and then he becomes our Kraven that we know and love. And so we're gonna go back to the mansion where he's gonna get berated by his father again for sucking and not killing the lion. The dad pulled him out of the hospital early, by the way. The dad showed up at the hospital where his brother was crying at his bedside, like, "Brother, don't die, brother. I love you, brother." And the dad comes in and is like, "No, I just have one question for you. Why are you such a little bitch? Why not shoot the lion? I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't disappointed. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go, chop, 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 chop. Let's go, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I don't have a fucking day here." So after a quick stop off at Wendy's for a few junior bacon cheeseburgers, they head back to the mansion. So, Russell Crowe's got to eat. Sergei is just not having it with his dad anymore. The dad's like, "You're pathetic, you're weak, son, you're weak, Rudolph. You'll never be able to fly the sleigh with the other reindeer." And Sergei's like, "All right, dude, I'm done. I gotta get out of here. I'm blowing out of Dodge." His brother Dimitri comes in his room. "What's going on, bro? Maybe we could play some Mario Kart." And Kraven's like, "Shut the fuck up!" Pushes him, shuts the door, and blows out of Dodge. He goes across the top of the rooftop, falls down like a kitty cat, lands on his all fours, gets up, and his brother's down there. "Were you gonna leave? You were gonna leave without saying goodbye? Take me with you. I hate this guy. He's an asshole. He's abusive. He probably killed our mom. Spoiler. We'll never find out, but he probably did." That's a pass. That's gonna be a no for me, dog. And he splits, abandoning his brother. Why? There's no reason why he does this. That's just good writing. We are then gonna get what I can only describe as a Twilight scene where Kraven is prancing around in the woods. He climbs some trees. He looks around. He makes a spear for no reason and throws it. Yeah, I can make spears now. Keep in mind, we're still teenage Kraven, all right? He finds a pack, a herd, a flock. It's flock, of course, of buffalo. I think they're buffalo. I'm not really sure. They're CGI abortions. They're running across, they're stampeding around, and they start getting hunted. Kraven's pissed. He's like, "How dare these guys hunt them?" And so he's gonna go in for a closer look. He runs out there and he stops the hunters by killing them. That's right. Kraven takes his first life and feels good. Feels real good. There's your hero arc. After slaying a couple assholes, he finds a old abandoned, I don't know what, a greenhouse? It's just a glass dome. I don't know what the purpose of it even was to begin with. Something from maybe Professor Sprout's old place that she used to live from Harry Potter. I don't know what we're doing here. Is there some mandrake and pots that I didn't see in the distance? He's gonna make this house a home, and eventually this will be his bat cave. His Kraven cave, we'll call it. And I guess he just lived the next 16 years here. Eating alone, drinking alone, hunting alone. But he is going to make a name for himself as the Kraven, the guy that stops poachers, saves animals, and whatnot. Meanwhile, trouble is a-brewing within the family. That guy earlier that I said was a total wuss, he's back in the mix, trying to build up his own little seedy organization, something that's going to rival Nikola. He's also been juicing a lot. Turns out he went and saw a doctor off camera who gave him special abilities to turn into a rhino person. And the only way to stave off that transformation, and the only way to keep the transformation from happening, is to, at all hours of the day, every waking second, have a little backpack with a straw that he keeps hooked in place that feeds him nutrients and other things that apparently calibrate his body to not turn all gray with a horn and all that stuff, as one does. Of course. This may be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. What is this guy showering with this backpack on? Taking a shit with the backpack on? Everything with the backpack on. How embarrassing. He's with a woman or a man. I don't know what this guy's into. A rhino, perhaps. Hey, so what do you say you and I get a little bit more comfortable? Just slip off these and we'll get right to it. What's with the get up here? What's with the backpack? That gonna stay on? No, no, that's gonna stay with. That's gonna stay on at all times. Trust me, you're gonna like it better this way. He has caught wind from his men that the Kraven has been busting up shop. Everybody's seen this movie, of course, but we also remember the trailer where he jumps on the back of the convoy and he takes out a couple of guys really quick. That's pretty much the entire action scene right there. Well, it turns out he was breaking up a couple of the hunters that work with the rhino, I think. I'm not entirely sure if that has anything to do with anything. It's all irrelevant. Regardless of how this happens, it happens, but the rhino has hired a guy called the Foreigner. He's a mystery man who counts to 3, and he can stop time itself, like Prince of Persia or some shit. And he usually ends up killing the people just for fun. Like a guy will be like, freeze! And the Foreigner will go, and then he'll take the gun and turn it around on the person, or he'll just go behind him and shoot him. It's kind of lame. The special effect reminded me of Matrix 4, which doesn't exist, but I'm bringing it up just for this one time only and never again, because that movie was the worst fucking abomination ever created ever. Where they're doing that new age bullet time where Neil Patrick Harris is like zipping around and it looks so stupid. That's what this felt like. The Foreigner has been tasked to track down the Kraven. The hunter becomes the hunted. This leads the Foreigner to the prison that Kraven escaped from, where he's gonna kill one random dude and find something on the ground. It doesn't matter. It's all just leading him to the right place at the right time. Meanwhile, Sergei has tracked down Calypso. Calypso attending a funeral for a friend, and we get their first interaction in 16 years. He says he's been looking for her. She's now a high-powered lawyer. Why? What are you doing with your abilities, lady? Well, it turns out the people that wrote and created this movie don't really know what to do with this character, and probably didn't know what the fuck was going on with the movie, because this entire interaction, and several to follow, will be done with horrible ADR. They will voice over this entire conversation. There will be shots where they'll be talking to each other and they will do a wide shot where you can't see them very well, or they'll have the hair covering the side of the mouth, classic, and her voice will sound completely different. She'll say, "You're the boy that I saved in the jungle," and then we'll get the ADR. Wow, has it been that long? That's how ridiculously different these voices sound. The K-Man wants to have a sort of collaboration, kind of a Dexter situation. You scratch my back, show me where the bad guys are, I'll scratch their eyes out. Reciprocal thing going on. She's not really feeling it, but we know that she's just got cold feet right now. She'll come around. In the meantime, Kraven's gonna go see his baby bro, who very much still likes him for some reason, even though he abandoned him 16 years earlier. Bro is living the high life. He's got a penthouse suite. He's got his own club where he sings 5 seconds of a song. It's a good time. K-Man, on his brother's birthday, sneaks up, he scales the side of the building, hides in the bathroom for his brother to come out of the shower. It's crazy time, I'm here, bro. His brother's like, oh my God, And he hugs him naked, probably half-mast. We gotta go out, it's your birthday, forget about it. And they go out to the club where their dad awkwardly shows up, gives a little bit more alpha male energy talk. And then the brothers go back to the hotel room where they're a little bit drunk, a little bit wasted. And Dimitri says to him, listen, bro, I know you did what you did for a reason. We all have our things, right? Our secrets, but I just want you to know I don't hate you. I don't want to kill you. I don't secretly think about slitting your throat when you're sleeping at night. No hard feelings at all, bro. I love you. And he truly is sincere. This kid is just the nicest kid. And he has the voice of an angel. And he also can change his voice very convincingly. He's a chameleon of sorts. At least that's what his dad randomly said to some dude at the club when he was singing. My boy, he can do the voice of anyone. He's a chameleon of sorts. And the guy who says that too goes, yeah, I'm just looking for the bathroom. Do we know each other? After the bros hang out for a while, Kraven finds he can't sleep at night because he's like Superman. He hears the calling of the animals in need. He hears the screams of the people, and obviously he's not gonna help them. He's like, ugh, this racket. So he goes outside and sleeps amongst the nature and the trees, as one does. And his brother, meanwhile, is kidnapped. If only Kraven had slept on the couch. He goes back up there, he sees some blood on the bed, and then he sees the bad guys taking off, and we get our first big-ass action scene where Crave jumps out the window, starts CG jumping off the sides, lands on the ground. He fell like 15 stories. He's fine, he's perfectly fine. He takes off after the car. The dudes look out the window and see this guy running at 80 miles per hour, keeping up, and they go, oh, that's the Kraven guy. Step on it, floor it. They're not at all blown away by the fact that this guy just leapt off of the top of a building and is sprinting towards their car. He then jumps on the car. He's hanging off the sides. They're trying to shoot at him. Woof. Woof. It's Kraven time, motherfucker. These guys aren't even phased. They do eventually lose him, but he's not done yet. He keeps running. He gets to a helicopter where this net ladder is hanging down. He grabs it, wraps it around a pole, which doesn't hold, unfortunately. So he's gonna start skiing on the water with it. And at one point, he runs into one of those giant lights out there. Curse you! Unfortunately, he doesn't save his brother, but he did get himself one hell of a migraine. Kill me. It's at this point Sergei has to reach out for help. So he goes to Calypso, convinces her to join the cause. She does her thing, which means calling some sketchy dude and meeting him in a back alley to get information. He gives it to her. We find out the foreigner wanted him to give her the information so he could give it to Kraven, because this is all an elaborate setup. It's all a ruse. And he's playing right into their trap. He also goes to his dad, Nikola, and says, hey, dad, bro's been taken. Can you spot me 20 million to get him out? And Nikola's like, that's weakness. It would look bad if I gave any money. You idiot. Go get him yourself. You suck. And so he goes to the compound. He's got to Kraven his ass around the corridor. This scene unfolded like playing Uncharted, where you would throw a brick, or you would just get up to the AI who has their like stock animations where they walk around, you just kind of creep up behind them. It's actually a pretty fun scene to watch because he's on the ground next to him, crawling on the stairs, and the guy turns this way, and Kraven's doing this too. And he's just really doing a great job of mimicking. I don't know why he did, because a second later, he then decides to kill another guy who shoots his gun, and then all bets are off. There's a big fight. Actually, it's not much of an action scene. He kills a couple guys. Kraven gets in a battle scene, and now we see the fruits of this plan laid out perfectly. The end game here was almost too perfect. The spider walked right into this web. Kraven gets near the window of this large facility where he's fighting a bad dude. This keys in the gentleman across the yard who has a rocket launcher squarely aimed at him. They were waiting for this the whole time, for Kraven to get way up into this building and peekaboo out the window so they could shoot a rocket at it. Ruh-roh. So Kraven jumps out the window with this guy in his arms, and then they kind of fall apart. The place blows up. They're smashing down the side of the building, down the fucking bramble, down the rocks. This is a massive fall. And they're hitting every rock on the way down. The bad guy, the regular dude, is still alive after that. What? I mean, he's killed instantly when the rocks come down, but still, why keep him alive? It was so cartoonish. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm blacking out as to what happens next. I think Kraven gets away, and then he goes back with Calypso, and they make a game plan, which consists of them going to his little greenhouse Kraven cave, and they're gonna get weapons. And as with everything in this movie, Calypso's gonna give a key piece of information 3 minutes before using key information. In this case, it's that she's really good at archery. Well, wouldn't you know it? Kraven's stockpiled with bows and arrows and a nice little crossbow. So she grabs that, they do the stupid suit up scene. Meanwhile, back at the laboratory, Rhino's talking to Dimitri again about how Dimitri's gifted and how he could use him in the future. I don't know what he's basing this on. Dimitri seems like nothing but a freaking little whiny bitch, but the Rhino, he senses something in him. And anyway, Rhino kind of cock teases his Rhino ability by unhooking his little clasp, and then he goes all gray for a bit before he puts it back away. All right, we get to the crescendo of the film, the final battle where Rhino and his crew are going to go hunt the Hunter. They head towards his facility, but we get a John Rambo-esque battleground of sorts. Kraven has set up booby traps. You got some bear claws on the ground. You have a rope pulley thing that rips a guy in half later. And then, of course, you got What's-Her-Nuts lying in the weeds with the crossbow. After the K-Man takes out a couple dudes, this is rated R. The Foreigner enters the fray. Dun, 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 dun. Escalate. 1, 2, 3, 4. Uno, dos, tres. I know you want me. I know I want ya. You know you want me. He does the thing on Kraven. Where you at? Where you at? And he starts shooting him up with these darts, which are going to make Kraven see some of his biggest nightmares. You know what the biggest one is? Spiders! Because Spider-Man. Spiders start coming down. I'm scared of spiders. This is the first I've heard about it. While he's freaking out, the Foreigner is kicking his ass, and he's about to put the final blow to Kraven when he gets an arrow through the throat by Calypso. Who could have possibly seen this coming? Everyone! It was so obvious. Unfortunately, the worst is not behind them because now they have to deal with the Rhino. He takes off his little straw and he rhinos out. It's Rhino time. Goosh, goosh, goosh. This is going to lead to the final scene, which you saw teases of in the trailer, where another set of buffalo are roaming around the area and a stampede takes out. Kraven runs up to him. The main one's like, I got you, bro. I know you. You know me. We're animals together, but I don't like that animal. That guy's, he's something else. We get a fight. Rhino and Kraven are going back and forth, exchanging blows. Eventually ending with Kraven swinging around some chain, wrapping Rhino, and the buffalo pull his ass to the ground. Rhino will die of natural causes. Dimitri has been saved at some point. I don't remember how. Dimitri was in one of the cars and he scattered away and then he caught up with Kraven. Dimitri wanted to kill the Rhino. K-Man's like, you don't do that. You're too pure, you're too innocent. Holy shit. Okay, where does this take us? I think this is about the point where K-Man realizes that his dad is the one behind all of this. He realized that his dad set this whole thing up because the Rhino was encroaching in his business, and he knew Kraven could take care of it for him. He knew he was Kraven, of course, Hunter, a game, recognized game. He then reminded his son of the beautiful, amazing lion, the legend that he had hunted and killed on behalf of his son. It's hanging up on the wall. It's been there prominently the entire film. And K-Man's like, yeah, I don't like you. You're not cool. We're not friends. All right, piss off. Well, his dad goes into hiding, but much like Blade, Kraven's gonna not forget. He's gonna track this guy down. And he shows up at his dad's tent. I might be doing things out of order. I think the reveal that he knew his son was Kraven was earlier, but whatever. This is a Sony movie, all right? I'm thinking on the fly. He shows up to his dad in his tent, and he says, hey, Papa. And the dad, obviously thinks Kraven's gonna kill him. But Kraven goes, no, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna hurt you really, really bad. No, he doesn't do that either. Instead, he says, hey, whatever happens, happens, but a real hunter, he doesn't use weapons. He uses his bare hands. And he leaves. He leaves his father out in the miserable cold with his tents and with a giant bear who's very pissed off, barreling down on Nikolai, who, of course, grabs his trusty gun. Kraven! And the bear kills him. Things seem to be working out now. Everything is pretty squared away. Calypso, still a high-powered attorney or something. I'm not really sure if she's even brought back into the film at the end. But the brother is back at his club. He seems to be taking over the family business instead of getting rid of it like he said he was going to, which is odd. So K-Man has a conversation with his bro. He's like, I thought you were, above this. I thought we didn't want to be part of Dad's whole trade, his racketeering and whatever else he's doing. And the brother, who has a lot more pep in his step these days, says, yeah, no, I'm going to take over. I'm doing pretty well for myself. I made a lot of friends in the last year, because a year's gone by. I even went and saw a special doctor who kind of fixed me up something sweet. He's probably the same guy that worked on the Rhino. And, Kraven's not happy. He's like, bro, what are you talking about? And they leave the club, and Dimitri's walking, and Kraven grabs his shoulder and turns him around, and he looks at a mirror image of himself. That's right, Dimitri looks just like Kraven somehow. And he's taken aback. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Oh my God, what? Who are you? And then his brother, Mystique, changes her appearance again. And he goes, well, Father always said I was a chameleon. Looks like now I'm embracing it. I guess we'll see more of Chameleon in Kraven 2. Let there be Kraven. No, this is stupid, and we're never going to get another one. Sony, they knew that this movie was shit. Why did they allow the cliffhangers and these, things to happen at the end? And we're not done. So outside of that, with K-Man going, okay, we'll see you in the sequel, and just leaving him in the most fucked up state I've ever seen someone. His face is changing on the fly. K-Man goes back to his dad's place in his office. He looks for the lion head. It's gone. But what's in its place is a little note with a gift box. It's from his papa. It says, embrace who you are, the hunter or something. He opens the crate and inside, is the iconic lion's mane jacket that he sports in the comic book where he's sitting like a baller on that chair on his throne. So he pops the T naturally. You gotta wear this shirtless, throws on the jacket, and sits down in the most awkward way possible in front of a janky-ass mirror, and he's just looking at himself like, yes, I am the Kraven now. Where's Spider-Man? He doesn't say the Spider-Man part, but I guess this is the implication that he's now gonna be like a tough bad guy or something. What a shit show of a film. What an absolute experience. And I'm glad I got to see it. And I can't wait to go again, right? We're still doing this shtick that it's good. Let me know, though. I know I didn't cover this, line by line like I promised I would. I'm doing my best off of the top of my brain, which is bleeding out after so many bad movies in a row from Sony. Let me know, though, if you saw this film. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I do tons of reviews, breakdown rants, roasts, live streams every single week. Would love to have you stick around. Comment if you saw this movie and your favorite part. I'd love to know your favorite part of this. Was your favorite part when Spider-Man didn't show up like he hasn't in any of the Sony Spider-Man Cinematic Universe films that don't have Spider-Man in them? I know it was mine. Let me know though. Please think about becoming a patron and supporting the channel at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies, or leaving a super thanks right under this video. You can leave a few bucks and say, hey Adam, thanks for the laughs. It was a tough day. I'm glad you got me through it, and I would appreciate it. All right, hope I see you soon. Take care.